Nostradamus AI. I mean, the name itself, right? You hear that and you think, like, predicting the future. But what we're actually talking about today is AI and how it's being used to improve something we really need, renewable energy.
Yeah. Really interesting how they're using it for forecasting, making renewable energy more, well, reliable, basically.
Definitely. We're calling this our deep dive into AI-powered forecasting for renewable energy. Specifically, Hitachi Energy's Nostradamus AI. Sounds pretty cool.
It is. It's a big challenge, managing how variable things like wind and solar power can be.
Absolutely. And we've got a ton of sources for this, articles, some in-depth stuff.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, we've got Electric, PV Magazine International, even AI Magazine,
Nice. Those are good ones.
and more industry-focused publications. Like
Mm.
there's one called Meet Nostradamus, Hitachi Energy's AI forecasting solution.
Catchy.
Straight to the point, right. And we pulled some stuff from Hitachi Energy's own website, too.
Sounds like we're well covered.
Should be a good one.
Yeah.
So we'll be looking at how this AI actually works, why it's causing such a stir.
Yeah, what's the big deal?
Exactly.
Mm.
And what it might mean for the future of clean energy, right? Like, where does this fit in?
Big picture stuff. I like it. Energy's changing so fast.
It is.
And AI is right there in the middle of it all.
Okay, so first things first. What is this Nostradamus AI? Like, what are we even talking about here?
So it's this cloud-based software.
Okay.
Hitachi Energy developed it specifically for, you guess it, energy forecasting.
Uh-huh.
And they're using all these, fancy AI algorithms to predict all sorts of things. Wind and solar energy generation, how much energy we'll need, even market pricing.
Whoa. Okay, so it's like predicting the future of the energy grid, right?
Kinda, yeah.
But we hear about AI doing all sorts of stuff. What makes this one special?
Well, Hitachi's saying it's 20% more accurate than, what we're using now, the industry standard, so to speak.
20%. That's a lot. But how? How does it actually, work? I can see AI predicting, like, market trends, but how do you predict the wind?
Right. Okay, so think about it like this. Instead of just like gut feelings, right? Or just looking at what happened like last year.
Yeah.
This AI uses a ton of data from all over.
Yeah.
Grid performance data, what the market's doing, even monitoring specific turbines and solar panels.
It's like having people watching everything all the time,
Yeah.
but it's all AI.
Right. It's a lot of data. And
Yeah.
that's where AI is like really good.
Makes sense. So then what?
It finds the patterns, things we probably never even notice.
Okay.
It uses algorithms, obviously. Like one's called temporal convolutional neural networks.
Temporal what now?
It's good with like data that's changing over time.
Oh, right, because energy use isn't the same at 2 p.m. as it is at 2 a.m., right?
Exactly. And another one is XGBoost. It's really powerful.
Okay. I'm going to need you to break those down for me. Like, what are those things actually doing?
So imagine the temporal convolutional neural network, or TCNN.
TCNN.
Okay. It's like a pattern recognition machine on steroids. It looks at weather patterns over time, how much energy we used in the past. Like, it can predict the weather and how that'll affect energy.
So it's not just about the wind right now. It's about the wind over time.
Right. It's about the trends.
Got it. Okay, and the other one, the XGBoost.
That one's like the strategist. It takes all the predictions from all the algorithms, figures out how to combine them, like a conductor leading an orchestra, but with predictions for the best overall forecast.
So it's an AI conductor leading a bunch of AI instruments?
Something like that.
Okay, that's a good analogy. But why is this all so important? I mean, who cares if we can predict the wind or the sun, Like, what's the big deal about forecasting?
Well, the grid is changing.
Yeah.
Fast.
Right, renewables.
Exactly. And they're not always predictable, are they? The sun doesn't always shine, wind doesn't always blow.
It's about keeping the lights on, right?
That and way more. The old ways of doing things, they just don't cut it anymore. Too slow, not accurate enough.
And that's where Nostradamus AI comes in.
Bingo. It could be the key. We need to manage all this renewable energy, keep the grid stable.
If we can do that.
Then we can really use renewables without worrying about the lights going out.
It sounds like this could be like a game changer.
It could be. For energy companies, for everyone, really.
Okay, so it's important, but what does it actually do? Like, what are the benefits? Besides keeping the lights on.
Think about energy trading. Buying and selling energy, if you know what's coming, you make better deals, save money.
So better predictions, better business.
Yep. And it's not all about money.
Right. The grid.
If we can anticipate changes, we can balance the grid better. No blackouts, reliable electricity, no matter what.
That's huge, right? Especially as we get more and more reliant on, renewables.
And as the grid gets more reliable, we can use even more renewables.
It all feeds back in.
It's a cycle. Less fossil fuels, cleaner energy. All because we can predict what's going to happen.
So this AI, it's almost like a catalyst for like a whole new energy future. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is. Cleaner, more efficient, more resilient.
Okay, so we've got this amazing forecasting thanks to renewables. But what's so special about Nostradamus AI? Like, what makes it different from other tools?
One thing that's really cool is it's what we call algorithm agnostic.
Algorithm agnostic. Okay, now you've lost me.
Think of it like this. You got a toolbox, right? Different tools for different jobs. Well, this AI isn't just using one tool.
Oh, so it can adapt.
Right. Uses different algorithms depending on the situation.
That's smart, but you'd have to be like an AI expert to even use that.
Not at all. That's another cool thing. It's really user-friendly.
No way.
They made it so anyone can use it. There's like a 5-step wizard to guide you.
A wizard.
Yeah, like a step-by-step guide. And they've got all these preset machine learning pipelines. They do a lot of the hard work for you.
So you don't need to be a coder to use it.
Yep.
That's awesome. But do you know what's going on? Or are you just trusting it blindly?
Transparency is important for sure. And this AI is transparent. It shows you how it's working, what's driving the predictions, and it uses visuals too, so it's easier to understand.
So you see the data, you see how it got the prediction.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. So we've talked a lot about how this thing works.
The nuts and bolts.
Right. But what about the bigger picture? What does all this mean for like the future of energy? Where does it fit in?
It's part of a bigger trend. Energy is getting smarter, more data, more intelligence.
A smart grid, right? Like we hear about all the time.
Yeah, the grid of the future. It adapts, responds in real time.
Like something out of a movie.
But AI is making it real right now.
And Nostradamus AI is part of that.
It's showing us what's possible.
Yeah.
If we can predict the ups and downs of renewables,
We can actually use them.
right, we can build a grid that relies on them.
This is getting me kind of hopeful for the future, you know.
Me too. It's cool to see.
But all this technology, all this AI,
Yeah.
what about us? What about humans? Like, what will our role be in all of this?
We're still essential. AI is a tool. It helps us, but it doesn't replace us. We still need the engineers, the experts, people to design, implement, manage it all.
So it's a partnership.
Exactly. Humans and AI working together for a better energy future.
I like that. Okay, so in this first part, we've gone deep on how Nostradamus AI works, talked about accuracy, the design,
The whole 9 yards.
and even touched on some big questions about AI and the future of energy. But there's more to come.
Oh, yeah. This is just the beginning.
Back again for more on Nostradamus AI. Last time, we really got into the technical side.
All those algorithms.
Yeah. Now I want to see it in action, like real world stuff. How are energy companies actually using this?
Right. It's one thing to talk about it, but does it actually work?
Exactly. So let's hear it. What are some actual examples of how this AI is being used out there?
Okay, so picture this. You're running a wind farm way out in the middle of nowhere.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
And you need to, keep the turbines running, make sure you're generating enough energy, but also making sure it's reliable. It's tough.
It sounds tough.
Yeah, the wind isn't always cooperating, is it? So that's where Nostradamus AI comes in. It can look at past wind patterns, the weather right now, even how each turbine is performing, and tell you how much energy you're going to get over the next few hours, even days.
So it's like a super specific weather forecast for energy.
Exactly. And with that information, the operator can make better decisions, like when to do maintenance, how to tweak the turbines for, maximum power.
So they're not just guessing anymore.
Right. They've got data. And they can even use it to, sell extra energy back to the grid.
Make some money.
Make some money, keep things running smoothly. It's a win-win.
And this works for other types of energy too, right? Not just wind.
Exactly. Solar farms, hydroelectric, even traditional plants. Natural gas, nuclear, you name it.
So it's adaptable. Okay, that's cool. But what about us regular folks? How does this affect my life?
Think of it this way. As the grid gets more efficient, more reliable, thanks to tools like Nostradamus AI, you benefit.
How so?
Prices could be more stable, fewer blackouts, maybe even new energy services that are, tailored to what you need.
Personalized energy. Now that's interesting. So it's not just about the grid itself. It's about what the grid can do for us.
Right. It's about making energy better for everyone. And as we use more renewables, AI like this is going to be even more important.
To make that transition smooth.
Exactly. A cleaner, more sustainable energy future.
It all sounds very positive, but I mean, come on, this is new technology. There's got to be some downsides, right?
Okay.
What are people worried about?
Sure, there are always concerns. Anytime something new comes along,
Like what?
jobs. People are worried about AI taking over jobs.
The robots are coming?
It's a valid concern, but I think it's more complicated than that. Technology always changes the way we work, right? It's about adapting, learning new skills. AI might take over some tasks, sure, but it also frees us up to do other things that require, human thinking.
So we work with AI, not against it.
Right. We might even see new jobs being created, things we can't even imagine right now.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about security? I mean, the energy grid is super important. Can we really trust AI to, like, keep it safe?
Security is definitely a big deal. And AI does add a new layer to that, right? We've got to be careful.
Well, like, what are they doing about that?
Companies like Hitachi Energy are putting a lot of effort into security, building systems that are resistant to attacks, protecting data. It's a priority.
Because if someone hacked the grid, that would be bad.
Yeah, no kidding. So they're taking it seriously. It's not just about building AI, it's about building it right.
And I guess, like, with any AI, there's the cloud of bias.
Right.
The AI is only as good as the data it learns from.
Absolutely. That's a huge ethical concern with any AI. We have to be careful about the data we use, make sure it's fair, that it doesn't discriminate.
Because otherwise, the AI will just learn those biases.
And that's not good. Transparency is important too. Knowing how the algorithms work, making sure they're fair, and making sure this technology benefits everyone, not just some people.
Sounds like there's a lot to think about.
There is, but it's important to have these conversations. About ethics, about responsibility. It's not just up to the companies building this technology, it's up to all of us.
To make sure it's used for good.
Exactly.
Okay, so in this part, we've gone from, the theory of Nostradamus AI to the real world.
Seeing it in action.
Yeah, we've talked about the benefits, the challenges, and even some of the ethical stuff.
It's a lot to unpack.
It is.
Yeah.
But there's one more piece to this puzzle.
The big picture.
Exactly. The last part of our deep dive, we're going to step back and look at the long-term implications. What does all this mean for the future of energy? All right, welcome back. We spent a lot of time with Nostradamus AI, right?
We have gone pretty deep.
Learned how it works, what it can do. We even talked about some of the, the worries people have about AI and energy.
Right. It's powerful stuff.
It is. So now I want to step back, like way back. Big picture time.
I like it.
What does all this talk about AI and forecasting?
Yeah.
What does it tell us about where energy is going?
I think it points to, well, a smarter energy system, one that's like built on data.
Okay.
Imagine the grid, right? But instead of being this like static thing, it's dynamic.
Dynamic.
It's always changing, always adapting, responding to, what's happening in real time.
Okay, so a smart grid. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, but even smarter. Like it can see what's coming, energy use going up, no problem, it adjusts. More wind than expected, it knows what to do.
It's like the grid has a brain.
Kind of, yeah. And AI is a big part of that.
And Nostradamus AI is like showing us how to do that with renewables.
Exactly, because the problem with the wind and solar is they're not always there when you need them, are they?
Right, the sun sets, the wind stops blowing.
But if we can predict that, then the grid can handle it. No more worrying about, the lights going out because the wind died down.
So we can actually rely on renewables.
We can. We're getting there.
This is like mind-blowing stuff. We're talking about a totally different energy future.
We are. It's exciting.
But with all this tech, all this AI, I keep coming back to this, but what about humans?
That's the question, isn't it? Where do we fit in?
Yeah. If the grid can do all this on its own, what do we need people for?
We're still the ones building it, right? Designing it, making sure it works.
Right.
AI can do a lot, but it needs us. We need the engineers, the data scientists, the people who understand energy.
So it's not about like AI versus humans.
No, it's about working together, humans and AI as a team. That's how we build this new energy future.
I like that, a team effort.
The best kind.
So we've come a long way in this deep dives, from the nitty-gritty of how this AI works.
To the real world stuff, the challenges, the ethical questions.
And now to this amazing vision of the future. Clean energy, a smart grid, humans and AI working together.
It's a pretty cool future, if you ask me.
It is. And it feels, I don't know, more possible now.
It is possible.
If you want to learn more about Nostradamus AI and all the things we talked about, check out the show notes. We've got links to all the articles and resources we used. And that's it for this deep dive. Thanks for listening.